But there's such a heavy pursuit to be verified, to be relevant, to be liked. And he mentioned at Missouri how it took off because of social media. And now, we see in locker rooms, we see in these collegiate environments how heavy the social media presence is and how that's so important to young people. It was important to me. So I'm a former Ohio State football player. This is a picture before our Fiesta Bowl game. I don't want to talk about how the game went, but before the game, I had the Apple Watch on, checking the social media. Man, how many likes am I getting? Am I trending? That makes me feel good. And so, if you were to do, I haven't done, but if you were to do an ethnographic study, which is just an observation of behavior, consistent behavior in a natural environment, if you were to do one in a collegiate athletic locker room, you would see a whole lot of this. And not a lot of talking. That shapes conversations, that shapes pedagogies and ways of thoughts, that shapes behavior, that shapes what you think is possible in your life. Patterns in thought, patterns in what you see consistently in front of you will shape the way you think. And the media painted him, as the guy, the kid who, lost his head, who went crazy on the sideline. But all I saw was a young man with incredible potential who was never really trained how to handle his emotions. Over 3.5 million impressions. Research will tell you, the more important social media is to you, the more it affects you. So you might not be working with Mekhi Brown, but you might be working with the student athlete who has made a bad decision and been covered by the media. Solutions. Speaking to administrators and support staff, first, take a critical look at exactly what your students need. Take a shift towards more experiential learning and focus on helping students make decisions, focus on their thought process, analyzing that. It's very, very important of consistent incremental change. The coach is consistently reinforcing team culture, consistently reinforcing what the game plan is that week, consistently reinforcing what the rules and expectations are. So student athletes, probably the most important thing, what the most important thing you can do for your college experience is understand who you are as an individual outside of your sport. Know exactly what you want out of your college experiences, being proactive versus reactive. I did not wait for someone to create my life for me. I wanted to create my own life. That's what gives you options. Don't sell yourself short. And so what we had the chance to do at Clemson was run a workshop that focused entirely on self-awareness. And we challenged student athletes to critically think about who they are as people, critically think about their social identities, critically think about exactly everything I just said, what they want to get out of their college experience. And you would be shocked how many crickets in the room there were. And so it's so interesting that an athlete can be so confident on the field, so confident over Instagram, so confident over Twitter. But then when you ask them, hey, what do you want out of life? Or what kind of legacy do you want to leave? Our greatest fear should not be failure, but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. What would it look like if you went into the office and said, I'm going to approach one student athlete today and ask them a question on their social identity. Ask them, what they want out of life and challenge them. And so what I'm saying is you have the opportunity and the power and the influence to do that for your student athletes. So, I had a great privilege while I was at Ohio State. Coach Meyer asked me to speak to the team on the impact of education. And that was probably, if I could, write down most impactful or memorable moments of my life, that would probably be in the top 2 or 3. Not because just speaking, but it was who I was speaking to.